William McDonough states that human society needs to aspire to an integration of materials, spiritual, and ecological elements. The concept of sustainability is seeking the equilibrium point between humanity and nature. William McDonough's The Hanover Principles were created for the Expo 2000 in Hanover, Germany in the early 1990s as a guideline for the international design competitions as well as a manifesto of sustainability for the design community. The goal of the principles was to help form the foundation of a new design philosophy that could guide the planning of future proposed construction projects. The principles state that humanity and nature should coexist and we should recognize their interdependence, respect relations between spirit and matter, and accept responsibility for the consequences of design. The objectives were also to create safe objects of long-term value, eliminate the concept of waste, rely on natural energy flows, as well as understand the limitations of design and seek constant improvement by the sharing of knowledge. The principles were created with the intention of transforming and adapting to the future growth of knowledge and understanding of the world. Along with McDonough, Ken Ying was a pioneer of ecology-based green design. In his book Green Skyscrapers, Ying views this method of building as the optimal design to reduce the impact of buildings upon the natural environment. The idea was to build vertically rather than horizontally, reducing the space taken up by the site. Through additional research, he came up with a matrix that works as a formula with the interactions between a designated system and the environment. This law requires the designer to look at his or her designated system in terms of his component parts and then see how these interact with each other. When it comes to sustainability, two methods are apparent: architects that utilize local materials and labor, and architects who design for the ecological benefit post-construction. An architect that follows the first method of utilizing components of the local economy is Anna Heringer, a German architect who is known for her work in the field of sustainable architecture. Heringer says, "For me, sustainability is a synonym for beauty, a building that is harmonious in its design, structure, technique, and use of materials, as well as with the location, the environment, the user, and the socio-cultural context." She is best known for her work in Rudrapur, Bangladesh, on the Mehdi Handmade School, wherein, similarly to Professor Yutaka Sho and her project in Mosoro Village, Heringer's goal was to give the community and its craftsmen confidence in their traditional building styles and experience for the future. By totally eliminating the use of machinery on the project and embracing methods such as lashing of bamboo and using mud, her and the community were able to build a 2-story classroom to house 168 students. It was also the first mud-built structure in Bangladesh to house indoor plumbing for the students and faculty. Through her work, Heringer demonstrates a bottom-up approach to the problem at hand, similar to Jane Jacobs, as she makes clear in the uses of sidewalks. By doing this, she builds off what is already present on the site rather than intruding on it, which displays the concept of a constructed site. This enabled her to open up a new style of sustainable architecture and avoid detrimental effects of modern structures on the building of them. The second method of sustainable practice is exemplified through Bjarke Ingels, who seeks to revolutionize waste plants with the Amma Resource Center. This plant correlates directly with the 6th Hanover Principle by not just eliminating waste, but producing clean energy from other waste. The facade of the waste-to-energy plant is composed of aluminum bricks that double as planters, literally creating a green facade that helps to give back some of the nature removed by constructing the project. The roof, which functions as a ski slope for the community, is comprised of a recycled synthetic granular. This concept of creating a ski slope from the roof also contributes by removing the idea of the indoor ski slope, which is highly inefficient to maintain. Ingels states, The new plant is an example of what we at Big call hedonistic sustainability. The idea that sustainability is not a burden, but that a sustainable city in fact can improve our quality of life. The waste-to-energy plant, the ski slope, is the best example of a city and a building which is both ecologically, economically, and socially sustainable. The Ammer Resource Center is what Bjarke Ingels and his firm Big hope becomes the flagship of the concept of sustainability, not just giving back to the environment, but improving the quality of life of the people. As much as we advance in the field of sustainability, there's still a long way we have to go to become fully sustainable. The quintessence of non-sustainable practice is memorialized in Villa Savoye by Le Corbusier. The project required the removal of many trees in order to achieve Le Corbusier's perfect site, not unlike Robert Moses in his plans to rip through Manhattan for his Cross-Bronx Expressway. Villa Savoye was described as conceptually defining the house as a mechanized entity. Mechanized is a word that describes a specific look, clean-cut, one color, and modern. To achieve this specific look, form and aesthetic is more important than the material, where it comes from, and the post-construction effect. In the design of Villa Savoye, Corbusier puts the structure on pivots in order to keep it off the ground. His philosophy was that since humans are superior to nature, we should be physically above it and looking down on it. This sense of arrogance creates a loop in the architecture community, where others will see the design as successful and therefore cause them to aspire to create a similar composition. In many instances, this is still present with many projects, such as the Mall of America. Similar to any mall, the Mall of America is a project that is extremely expansive and has the mindset of only profit. This causes the environment, as well as sustainability, to be neglected. Even hotels possess a similar ignorance, especially the Syracuse Sheraton. The dilemma in this mindset is that we need the Earth as much as it needs us. Rather than a parasitic relationship, where we use the Earth's resources and do not give back, we need to form a mutually beneficial symbiotic relationship. We are still striving to attain a point where we can say that our buildings are fully sustainable. We should begin by learning from nature and the way that it uses its own resources and then gives back to create new life and an endless cycle to keep ecosystems going. Just as an ant distributes soil and a cherry tree drops blossoms and spreads its seeds, we must take and give back what we take to be a sustainably sound contributor to Earth. If we do not begin to apply these ideas and methods to our own, Earth may not be able to sustain us much longer.